The design, the customer actually like the design. It holds up and everything seems to be just fine. However, there are a few things I feel like after a feedback session with the customer, I feel like I need to improve on the design. Even though I'm doing this one practically pro bono. I love to design to improve on my own craft. Yeah. So everything seems to hold fine. The area is perfect for one layer of tape. I think I delivered this one instead of the two layer. Yeah. Okay, so one strip of tape is actually enough to hold that one. And not this sketch, this one perhaps. Yeah, so instead of just 19, I checked the numbers again today, and it is actually just, do I have to take, yep, it doesn't say it on the one I'm owning, but it's just 19 millimeter. So yeah, technically I could have stripped out that 1 millimeter, but uh, not that much of a loss. So what I am planning to improve is first the material usage. I shouldn't need to put that much material. There are some gaps in between. Let me just turn on the one tape strip. I think this one. So there are a lot of gaps that the slicer need to fill in. Now, normally, previously, I would have done something stupid like trying to skeletonize the design while using 3D printing, which is a pretty bad thing to do. Pretty stupid one as well. So the plan now is to try to minimize some of that material use. One of the approach is to make an L shape. Slicers online. This part is the one touching the bed. Let's just slice it this way. I'm using a very thick extrusion to improve on the strength as well as the speed. So you can see, I don't think this is the one. Let me double check, please. One tape strip. Yeah, I think mine is a little bit more detailed. That one. Yep. So when I slice this one, when you look, yeah. So I'm using the Arachne engine, which allow it to change the extrusion width to follow the contour. So in this section, the flow, the line width is 1.71. Could it go that far? I don't think it can, but because the maximum I set for this one is 1 millimeter, so I have no idea how the internal wall can go up to more than that. I need to double check. But towards the corner here, it goes back to the smaller number, which is 0.7. Yep, you can see it drops 0.5. Yeah, increase a bit. Yeah, minimum of 0.597, so 0.6 over here. I think it can improve more if I tune it a little bit with the Arachne engine setting. Where the heck is that? Z contour, no, I don't need that. Bridging, overhang. Yeah, Arachne, yeah, I think I need to tweak these values. I think I'm setting it a bit too high, aren't I? Yeah, I should have just select 0.4 and let the slicer do its thing. But my point still stands. I should change that later. Yeah, so I need to work on that one. And the geometry is have these gaps, which is practically a waste of material. It adds space, but doesn't improve much in terms of performance, I believe. I don't have any concrete evidence. Of course, the best way would be to perform FEM, finite element model, analysis. I think that's the acronym, but I still couldn't figure that one out yet. Maybe that will be a series for me, but yeah, I think that would be a valuable skill. So I'm thinking of stripping it down into and down up here. Not sure how it will perform though, but definitely save a lot more material than that one. So let me just delete the two part. Currently I'm doing this one with a bit more gaps so that my customer can swap out the width of the beam. But yep, okay. The material usage is the first problem, and the second problem is that I am worried that the extruded part over here might damage the things that he's trying to display. Yeah. So normally with pegboard, although they are metal, they do not have sharp corners like over here. This is like for mounting into wood. The bracket I'm using is mostly made for gluing it into wood. Yeah, screwing it into wood. As first, I do consider making the hook entirely out of 3D prints. That definitely will save a lot of material. However, the bottleneck for the project I want to set is the width of the strip of tape. So I'm using 3M tape, not sponsored, definitely. It would be cool though. And the dimension is 19 millimeter. Changing the dimension in any way will result in sub-optimized coverage, so that the back plane here doesn't cover enough, and decreasing it will result in not enough of the back plane covering the tape. So a section of the tape will not be in contact with the hook, and thus will result in less holding force on the pegboard side, on the hook side. So yeah, that is the constraint. That is the main constraint of this project. I really like this type of nano tape. I should parameterize that one in though. Check. Let's name it tape width. Give it a number. Currently I'm working with 19. Around that up to 20 should help me a bit. So instead of padding it like that, I am using Varset and tape width. Okay. Yeah, I still end up with the same number, but this time it is what the heck. Okay. What? Okay, there's some technical issue. Hey, something's wrong. Tape width 20. How I change it to something like 10? Okay, works. But I cannot change that to tape width. Yeah, definitely can. Okay, it's green now. So when I go back into it, you can see the expression instead of just the number. And by changing the tape width to something like double, they do sell bigger tape. You get a fatter thing instead of having to go inside the sketch. And that's the power of parameterized design. Okay, yeah, that is the constraint. So the plan right now, at first I want to do this so that I just have to print the adapter, and he can took out the pack and replacing it with maybe a longer pack I'm sorry, I keep using peg because I am doing this to help him replace the pegboard without having to actually buy a pegboard. Yes, so like to bracket, sorry, to take out a bracket and insert a thicker or longer bracket, because we have a problem when we try to buy a longer wall, like the type of hook that you can glue onto a wall, stick onto a wall, and leave no residue. That is preferable. But we ran into a problem is that most of them are made to hold clothing, cloth, not cloth. That is just fabric. Clothes. How do you pronounce that in plural? So clothes. Um. Uh. Yeah, clothes and jacket and stuff like that. So they are not very long, and yeah. So to combat that, I decided to make this one. However, I see that this can actually mar the surface of the display object. So that's what I'm intending to improve. First thing, so let's go in, shall we? I remember I was sketching this plane because I need that to go up. Maybe I should parameterize the dimension of the bracket as well. We'll leave it later. Okay, got that. Okay, what I'm seeing right now is that it looked like this, right? The first go in, it wants to pop out, but I feel like this section being thicker doesn't really do anything, and I would much prefer that it sit parallel. So right now I'm gonna delete a couple constraint, number 37. Not number 37, I'm sorry, number 34. Yeah, because it is holding it vertically. Still, maybe need to delete dimensional constraint as well. Yep. Make it parallel, right? So making it vertical should be good. Yep. So we don't need to use material right there. It's set at the minimum amount of material that it's covering. I feel like when this thing is covered, it will basically fuse into one piece, and the weak point of the entire system lies in the adhesion on the back plane instead of the stress. Because remember, we are using tape, like nano tape, the type of transparent tape that they stick on tile and stuff like that. He's using a wallpaper, so have a lot of similarities, not as fragile as paint. So yeah, I think it should work fine. Granted, the room doesn't heat up that much. And we shrink that one in. Yep, and now we go into the skeletonized problem. Okay, let's address the size of this one first. So I'm thinking of changing the expression up just into the nozzle diameter times 2. I'm using nozzle diameter as the size constraint, so as the extrusion width in the slicer, and 2 millimeters seems fine. Most of my enclosure design is for 2 millimeter walls. That's why I bought a 0.8 millimeter nozzle for this type of build. Now, with that said, what is the radius of turning radius now? The distance from here to here. 5.9, not necessarily 6. So as long as the section here is 2 millimeter, I think this much. I think we should add an arc, right? Here, here, and here. Was it not green? What the hell? GA. Here, here, here. Not green for some reason. The size is freaking me out. If I extrude, yeah, definitely broke that. Let's create it. An arc separately. FreeCAD, what the heck? What the heck? Okay, need to delete that one too. What constraint is that one? Can I delete the dot? Okay, what kind of symmetric solver failed to converge? Yeah, sounds pretty serious. Okay, this one. Delete that one, and so can I delete it now? I feel like I'm trying to delete the outer constraint, and oh my god, what is happening? I feel like it's crashing, something like that. Okay, what the heck is going on right now? Can I at least draw a line? Okay, everything works. Everything's working. Okay, why can't I move? What? Why can't I move the arc? What the? Okay. Try to create a new body, create a new sketch, like that. GA. I'm using English. Okay, that one works, but yeah. Okay. What the hell? I hope FreeCAD is not fucking with me. Okay, let's try to solve the okay, nothing is moving. I think I need to delete several of these constraints for it to work again. Yeah, okay. Let's try it again. Okay, so now it's moving. I think one of the constraints is the problem. That one is the clearance. Okay, let's try again. Here and here. Make this one tangent as well. Of course. GX, that edge. You're just gonna not add the clearance here. Because, yep, the extrusion gonna pass that anyway. Okay, moving down here. I want to basically delete that one. Okay, it's moving a lot. I need to delete that too. We have a line that is fixed at an angle. Okay, we control the dimension. Can I control this for a set? Okay, it attached to that one. Okay, let's constrain it geometrically first. That's the best practice as well. Try my best to get it to play nice. Okay. Yep. Maybe something like go in here, down here, and close off the arc. Tangent, tangent, tangent as well. The question is the angle of that one, right? Give it a 45 degree. It looks stable, to be honest. Yeah. Does it look stable enough? I feel like so, but what do I know? Okay. Okay. Okay, those are constrained. Perfect, but now that one is stuck. Okay, why does it froze like that? What if I just added 2mm over here? Okay, it doesn't let me do that. Nice. What the hell is going on? That's good. That's good. Should make this one vertical again. Yeah. Why this one? Okay, this one is the nose of the diameter. Okay. So how about I make this one the nose of the diameter as well? Number 27. This one? Really? Number 26. Which one is 26? This one? Vertical constraint. Oh, okay. I see the problem here. Yeah. Could not set it like that. Okay, if I set to 2mm, we'll try to do that. And I cannot let that happen. Okay. If I set it a little bit bigger. Wait, why am I using more material down here than up there? Doesn't really make sense. No, really, it doesn't really make sense why I'm doing that. Why not just tear it all down and build it back up? Okay, so new change of plan, maybe mirror the geometry of the lower one. Do something like that. Okay, does that don't care anymore. Basically create another triangle up here. Yep. 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 These one I still want it to be in line with each other. That one. Did that one. Do I even need to set that one? Maybe not. Because the moment I set these to be equal and and give it the dimension of nozzle diameter. Maybe solve some of these. Okay, this one should be horizontally to make sure it is the same size. Yep, there's still the problem with that, but I think that one could be solved with a number, right? Yeah, because the how's the number here? 2 point something something. It can shrink. Okay. Up back there. Let's quickly. Okay, back out now. Maybe I should set the radius for the lower one as well. Now we should be able to set these to be equal to, okay, something's wrong. It's not supposed to look like that. Yep. Where is my, I am a stupid. Oh no, I'm stupid. Okay, no one see that, right? And no one sees my video, so shouldn't be that big of a problem. Those are equal. Nice, nothing is breaking. Now I just need to set this one horizontally. Nice. Now I just need to set the value. Okay, setting the values that does not help with that. Same as the lower one. So should I set this one too to be vertical with each other? Very nice. Maybe set this one and this one to be vertical. Also nice. Let's not solve the problem, but it does sure does look nice. Okay. I'm gonna need to set some boundaries. Angle 45. Maybe 45 for the bottom one might make a little bit more sense. 45. Let's change back to Vietnamese. Yep, that one is 45 degree. Okay. Does the inner constraint helps? Oof. Okay, let's set the this one first. For set nozzle diameter done. Yeah, problem still about the sliding one. Will setting this one 45 degree helps. It's not to. Huh? Okay. But now I can accurately adjust that one, right? Also one. I feel like I'm missing the point over here. Yeah. Okay. 46. That 45 with that. Delete the 45. Get it in. Get it very in. Yeah. How about make these two parallel? Where's the letter P? Okay. Oh my. Almost destroyed this. And now I set it to 45. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Not what I had in mind. Because no. No. Yeah. I want the I love the 45 degree angle, but I do not want it to take up that much space inside. So what I'm going to do is set up a value. Yeah, how much should I set it? Maybe 2 times the nozzle diameter. Okay, from point to point. Now I can set this one like so. Give it some nice number. Yep. Okay. Looks good. Hope that it got the strength that it needs. Okay, that's first problem solved. I should have solved it at the same time with the second problem. I really want to extend that one over the edge over there. Why do I keep shooting myself in the foot? I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, something like along that line. Okay. Bit of a setback, no problem. Just need to I really hate the way it why do you have to drag out that much? Maybe if no, I cannot do that, but sure would be nice. Oof. Clearance, yeah, that's the first one. I want to cover it as well. Sorry, GM. Yep, that's the one. That's not a line. Why am I keep trying to click it? Flat line, like touch there. Big. Yeah, big pocket. Okay. Not that big of it. Oopsie, right? Feel like I'm missing something. Maybe the internal geometry. At least it wasn't that big of a problem. Yeah, because I need to drag this one way out over here. GM. This one. Right. Not even need to do that. Shouldn't even do that. Here. Here, coincide. Perfect. This one, yeah, just a little bit hiccup. GM. Okay, that's what we want. Okay. Tangent. Get up a little bit. Should I just delete this line and create a big arc over here? Yes, I should. It's a multitude, right? Let's delete this one as well. Okay, how do I even extend that one out? I feel like I'm just dragging it around. Same logic should also apply to the bottom one. Side tangent. I can afford to make a pretty big arc over here. So inside corner, outside corner does not have to meet at all. Yep, setting that to that. Touching is reasonable. Making big arc doesn't help much. That. Okay. I feel like we're going somewhere. Okay, let's set some geometric. Let's set some dimensional constraint. Why can't? Oh, okay. Which one is the actual line? That one. That one is there. This one down there. Okay, let's give them. Huh. My mistake. Guess I want to differentiate turning radius. This one should be just the nozzle diameter. That just works fine. Doesn't handle that much stress. Double check. Okay. Now for this one, let's try a multitude of the nozzle diameter times 3 at the start. Okay, doesn't look that good. Nozzle diameter times 5. Yeah, I'm setting as 1 times 10. Okay, look a lot better now. Setting it as a number isn't very productive. Let's just set it in line with the other one. This one should be 4. Yeah, 2, definitely double. Okay, we got that, and the sketcher is finally resolved. As you can see, we have embedded the metal bracket inside, which should help with the load handling. And the material usage is actually pretty small. I believe I can make this one even smaller by going to this nozzle diameter. Let's set it to 0.42. Yep, you can now see it just barely covered the outside of the metal bracket. Can I get this thing to print in vase mode? Not. I don't really want to print it in vase mode because first of all I need some kind of stable volume. Let's just double check. It have an external and internal walls, so I do need to make some kind of cut, right? Let's trace the path. So start from outside corner, go up, down. Yep. Yeah, it leaves the entire inside void. I remember there's a trick, right? Make a cut somewhere in the gaps between the walls. Yeah, so for example, if I make a cut somewhere non-critical, pretty hard to pick, but yeah, probably something at the tip, right? It doesn't have a lot of interference to the tip, so it makes two ends. And now when we go from the outside loop the loop outside, when it reaches its end, it doesn't connect to the other side, but it goes to the inside walls. Loop it, go inside walls, loop, go here, down here, up, yeah, up again, down here, and goes, what the, yeah, I'm brain fucking myself, sorry, down, up, oh yeah, oh, okay, it does make it to the other end. Oof, I'm really hallucinating this crap right now. But I think this area would need some. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, 0.42 is not, because in vase mode it is not necessarily strong, to be honest. Vase mode print are quite weak. If we print this one in vase mode, the distance between the wall is less than a millimeter. But I am curious about the engineering aspects. Okay, let's save this one. V2, we are applying a little bit of knowledge that I learned from the internet. The trick is to create some kind of, sounds a bit stupid, but skeletonized design. I know why we are not doing that, but oof, it sure sounds fun. And I really want to try it. So this one should be the main walls. Should name it main wall. What we are going to do is to create cuts at very precise position in order to make the ribs that stabilize this system. So what I mean by that, create new body. No. This was the active body. I do it by double clicking them. Just checking. Now we'll create a sketch on the same plane, reverse that one. I will like to work like that. Okay, turn it off, turn this on. So I just want to see the sketch. reference. I heard that referencing on a sketch is much more. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something's not adding up. Something's not looking right. I feel like this doesn't sit right with me. You know? I guess it should look like that. Oh, rookie mistake. We live and we learn. Back to the cut. This is actually the cutting. So I'm referencing the other sketch in that location and in this two location. We're going to basically some Gojo Satoru move, purple, and should I just create GA? Yeah, so we are using purple and punch a few crescent shape of this thing. Touching. Sorry for the resolution. I tried to set it to very high and it practically crashed the PC. So even though it doesn't look intersecting, it is. Okay. Here, tangent. Distance between them, give it something small. Didn't need to be a good var set. Half the clearance. Maybe the clear because the clearance is the distance I made to fit the metal object. I do not need this one to fit. Maybe 0.1 millimeter. Like half the clearance. Half the clearance sounds reasonable. You just said it like that. I'm just lazy to clearance divided by 2. Yeah. 0.1 millimeter. Let's go with that number for now. Okay. On a dead center. Let's give it symmetric around this one, so they are definitely on the same line. Here are horizontal, and of course I need an arc to connect them together. Just gonna draw a random arc and connect them by hand because sometimes this thing is practically on crack. Something wrong. This one at this point. Wunderbar. This one at this point. Not very wunderbar. Okay, how about for this one? Upper one. Wonderful. Lower one. Not very wonderful. Should I delete that one and set the intersect first? This one. It's not. I feel like I'm smoking crack right now because not working somehow. Good tension between the lines work. Okay, yeah, okay, at least that one work to some degree. So let's just test. I want to test that one out. Do that. Gonna shift extrude symmetric through wall and check the result. Okay, we got the shape that we want. So we'll go back to the sketch because there are a couple more sketch that we need to do. Don't worry, it should make sense shortly. Now the real question is making square cuts or smooth cut. Yeah, I do enjoy making some smooth cut, but a rectangle is just so convenient. Because what I would love to do is to do something like, okay, it doesn't have the one I want. Gonna have to draw an arc manually. So go here. Should be horizontal. Here. 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 So that is the plan. Maybe some tangent. No, not tangent like that. Create another line from here to where's the X? What? Just gonna my hand. Set a tangent to that line. Okay, goes up here. Should goes around. Okay, the nozzle go up here, go around, and go down here. Distance from here to here should be the nozzle width plus, because it is actual inside to not cutting into the geometry, the inside plus the other side of the walls. So like nozzle diameter times 2 plus bar set clearance divided by 2. Okay, 0.42, 0.84 plus 0.1, 0.94. Okay, that should be the number that we are going for. Okay, so that they should be equal in some sense, right? Need to do that. Select that one. Set these two to be vertical. So they have the same radius there. What we need is this one. Make a tangent first. And this one. These are equal. And no, those are not equal by any means. Because this one is, what do I even need the construction line? But yeah, just I'm not doing any comparison. So it's just from here to here. Sorry. Here to here. Clearance 422. I feel like I'm using that number a lot. I should parameterize it as well. And why is it still not matching? It's not tangent. Okay. The dimension from here to here is the nozzle diameter. Thickness amount that it can warp. Didn't I set this one before? Or am I hallucinating? I cut one right there and cut one down here. Let's try to create a few of them. I'm wondering if I can copy the entire thing. This is a little bit on crack, but it's better than nothing. What the heck am I creating? Got the correct number, but it doesn't parameterize it correctly. And I really don't want to do this thing all day. Okay, I'm putting the foot down. We're gonna create a new one. Go with base base mode theme. Yeah, the word seems appropriate. 0.01 would have been enough. Let's just go for that. Yeah, it's not cutting it the right position. Never mind. I got rid of the dimensional constraint. I'm taking, okay. Let's do something a bit more creative this time. I'm removing, what the heck? Okay, it's now free to move. All right. Connect to the stuff. Would be easier if I just set it to be vertical. All right. I should also set the interference between them. The seam, base mode seam. Oh, it's 0.1. Okay. It looks more realistic now. Now, can I really copy this? It's 10 micrometer. Hope the slicer can pick it up. But, no promise there. Yep, it was just gonna copy the entire thing, so not much point in doing that. Okay. Come on, baby. Sounds cancerous. I feel like this thing is growing, and every time it did, it mutate. Okay, grabbing the ends seems to work best. Yeah. Yes. This thing looks way too fucking organic for me to do it all. Let's just make one more copy, and I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah, because this thing gonna eat up the sketching time by a lot. Sounds fun on the technical standpoint, but extremely like if it's just a straight line, I can use replicating texture, but it is not, and everything needs to cut into this one. So oof, I am in a real doozy right now. Just connect it to that one like a human centipede. Not working, huh? Also freezing, huh? Why are you doing this? Okay, it seems to be completely cuckoo bananas right now. That one works. For a set, nozzle diameter times 2 plus 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 for a set, very small seam. Okay, I need to copy that expression. Ah, wait. Okay. Not touching that. I'm doing with this. Throw. Okay. What's wrong? It can move because I didn't set. Can it just coincide with that one? All right. Can we move this one? No, not clearance. So create those kind of cuts. Now, gonna save that and export it. Okay. So it failed. I don't know what to say. Maybe try to limit the outer wall to 0.3. Is that okay? It is creating the outer wall now, at least. But where the heck even is the first? What am I even printing in vase mode? Spiral vase. Okay, I'm printing in vase mode. But the inside, it doesn't really generate the type of geometry I want. I'm using, yeah, way below. Okay, we need some to make some changes. Let's give nozzle diameter back to 1 millimeter. Go back to the pocket sketch. Should fix this value. So that I can fix everything at once. And notice the consistency between them. Okay, back and forth. Hopefully, oh, okay, I see the problem now. Yeah, why did I expect that to work? Forgot to trim this fucking thing. Wait, what? No, no. I did trim that, but yep, because I used the cut command. Huh. Okay. Maybe let me check. Okay, one millimeter. Maybe I need to change the vase mode seam to like 0.1 millimeter. Perhaps. Okay, save that one. Let's sketch it. Let's slice it. Okay, now it finally works, and it generously created the first layer for us as well. Pretty neat. 0.1 millimeter sounds a bit too much, you know. The gaps, and it doesn't really even go all the way and touching the ends. What the heck? This is not what the drawing looks like. At least I hope so. Okay. I'm noticing some errors in my calculations. Okay, nozzle diameter. Second. Why does it look so wrong? Okay, yep. You have to run the inner wall and the outer wall, yeah. Does it? Plus, okay, I'm using var set clearance over 2 instead of var set vase mode seam. Still 2.1. Okay. Not sure what is wrong. This is not what I'm looking at. Oh, okay. 1 second. I'm designing this thing for 1 millimeter outer wall, right? Slice it now and it should look like that. Yeah. And this one actually broke. Okay. Apparently we need some sort of clearance. Yeah, some sort of clearance. Go back to the main sketch. Should be easy enough to work it out. So right now is, what the heck is this? Oh my god, we're looking at my meter right now. Yeah, right now it's not working well on our file fiber. Clearance looks fine. Nozzle diameter is that. This one is bound to parameter 56, which is vertical, but with the one down here. If we delete that, only the under, so it can constrain. Okay, just by 56. Oh, okay. It also have another parameter that is also coincide with it. So with smaller line width, problem like this could occur. Because this one is 1 millimeter. Perfect. This one is 1 millimeter. But the turning radius is not determined by that. It is determined by the outer. Okay, it should that is the wrong way to model it. Okay, I see the problem now. What can I do? Oh, wait, shouldn't this one equal to something? I'm confused. Yeah, if I delete that, it is still fully constrained. Trying my best to fix it without breaking everything. Try to just delete this one. Make it easier to sketch. Delete this point as well. Delete constraint 51 first. This point belongs to the outer. What if I remember this was one of the final constraint. Yeah, this one the final one. So instead of that, we can do this and set this one as the nozzle diameter because it is the actual turning rate. No, don't do that because up here we got this thing. Yeah, actually only that one. We need that one to be equal as well, right? Yeah, fully constrained. So we solved the internal turning radius. Now we need to solve for that one because wood vase mode, this is yeah, okay, I see. Wood vase mode, I cannot work in the same optimized way, and then I have to double line width. No, not the diameter times 2 plus, so yeah, plus set small sim. So this is 2.1 4.2. Okay, I think that will work. Yeah, I think that should work. Okay, it finally sliced. This is the plane that I was working on, and this is the result. It is actually what I intended for it to be. I should probably fix that one too. Yep, the hook will slide in. Because base mode doesn't have a top, yeah, it definitely can slide in without any issue. We have a seam over here, which I argue is a pretty bad place at the seam. The back would have been a better candidate for this. Or is it? No, not really. Yeah, because it might tear at that section. Maybe here. Because I'm hoping for it to fuse together, and I'm not sure that a bend section with the internal and external corner are different to be the best area to bend it. Like so, huh? If it goes down, maybe somewhere around here, or maybe here would be better. Okay, yeah. Down here is better because this is just basically a tape section. Everything here is to increase the tape area. I'm not sure like how much does the lengthening area help. But I love to believe it. Yeah, so that is the plan. The plan is to create ribs like this one. So swiggle, swiggle, swiggly line. And in every layer is the middle. It swiggle, swiggle like that. Line width, 1 millimeter all the way around. Precisely following the design contour. I feel like I need to if I want to optimize for base mode, I would need to add a bunch of ribs over here and possibly thinning this section out because it is not needed anymore. Wait, no, yeah, it's not not needed anymore. It's empty space. With the design that thin, yeah, it does look a little bit sketchy. But it's getting pretty late for me. I'm trying to live a little bit more healthy now. Okay, I'm going to come back to fix the squiggly line. Pulling down, ripping out. I really wish I have some sort of testing scale from nicer brand. But yeah, that's the plan. Print time material usage is actually comparable to the bigger version. Yeah, like around 30 minutes. And this one's material usage is actually about the same, if I remember correctly before. About 15, while this one, right? Or this one? I think it is this one. Too many version. Oh, while this one, yeah, probably use a lot less. It goes up, goes down, or just goes one way. I think that one actually just goes one way. Yeah, but Vasmos is actually pretty cool when you think about it. Just a single extrusion line, no zipping around, minimal stringing, very silent operation. The print speed during and this is just full rate, close to maxing out at 77, 17. Temperature, pressure band, yeah, maxing out the flow rate. Speed is quite low, yeah, at 100 millimeter per second. We're not maxing anything out, for sure. But this is basically DFM for this one. I maybe add a couple more ribs, but I feel like we are chasing diminishing return at that point. But anyway, I'm going to return to sketching later. It is pretty late.